Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Eddie. My name's Eddie Campos with Eddie's home team of RE/MAX Preferred Associates. Let's go inside and see who today's guest is.
One of the things that we recently announced was a white box grant in which the city can help reimburse a property owner to white box their space. What do I mean by that? That means taking a space, getting all of the mechanical, electrical, plumbing up to code, ADA compliance, fire suppression, basically creating a box so that a company, all they have to do is come in and do like cosmetic things. That, and at the end of the day, if that company is successful, which we hope they are, or they're not, we've got a building that's ready for the next business. So it's an investment in our community that is so important from the small business location. You know, we get asked a number of times a week, I would say, for locations within our business districts that, you know, a company can just move into. These are people who are experts at their business, not necessarily at real estate. And so we can't expect them to be starting up a business and also have to be an expert at real estate and knowing all of these codes. So if we can construction, which is extremely complicated, right? There's a lot of people, you know, on the team that typically it takes to get those projects done. So sites and buildings, getting them ready for new companies, whether it's, you know, the large manufacturing company like a Peloton or a First Solar that we're trying to attract, or it's the small business, you know, that we're trying to put into one of our buildings.
So something that would be an example of that is what you guys did to the old Willys Jeep property where the smokestack is that everybody recognizes. So that was just a bunch of land at one point in time, and then a building was put up with, I believe, just no intention for anything but to just attract a business, right?
You know, that's a great point. It's not enough to just have a site these days. You need to have a building if you want to attract some of these companies. It all goes back to speed to market, the risk of construction delays, especially now.
Prices are now going up.
Construction pricing and the money, right? Speed, risk, and money. So at Willys is a great example. Overland, that was the original location where we created the Jeep Wrangler for World War II and so on and so forth. And then in 2001, Jeep built a new facility north of that location, which is today now the Jeep plant. And the community, through the Port Authority, the city, the county, the state, a number of partners, acquired that site, completely remediated it, demoed the buildings, got it ready for a pad. It sat there. We engaged a local developer, Ed Harmon, to build a 100,000 square foot spec building. And a few short years later, we've got over 3,000 jobs on that site. That is really an economic engine for this entire region. I mean,
other buildings went up, correct?
And another building just went up. Yes, we've got all-phase electric there. We have Detroit Manufacturing Systems and a local company, Dana, brought back manufacturing operations to the city for the first time in decades.
So how do you do that then? So how do you find this kind of acreage available? Does that mean that we're talking about demolition of other areas? And how does that happen? Because Toledo can't really get a whole lot bigger, at least not easily.
Right.
So how does that happen?
Yeah, so
that seems like a big problem to undertake.
A quote that has stuck with me is, you know, when you change the way you start to look at things, the way you look at things start to change. When I took over this role in 2017, I started to look at all of the properties that the city owns. And at the time, we owned a lot of property. Southwick Mall. Textile Leather and MedCorp site, Northtown. These are all former mall sites, and in the case of the Textile Leather site, it was a former industrial site. But let's take Southwick for an example. I think that site had been pitched for retail, you know, some sort of mixed-use development. At one time, Larry Dillon had proposed like a Levis Commons type of development for that site, and all of them failed. And when I took over, the city didn't have a great strategy for that site. I think we were struggling to find, you know, where the market was for that location.
And at that time, the building was probably still there, correct?
The building was gone.
Oh, it was gone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The building was gone, and the site was just a vacant parking lot.
Yeah.
So we started to look at it from an industrial perspective, and when we started to do that, everything became very clear. Right over Ohio Turnpike, you have UPS's main operation. Just down the street, FedEx had their large operation before they moved to Perrysburg Township. And we had just helped a company called Estes Trucking expand over onto a piece of property that we owned. There's a number of large logistics providers in that corridor. And so at the time, we were also looking at like how other cities were starting to repurpose their mall sites. And in particular, Cleveland was in the process of converting the Euclid Square Mall into an Amazon fulfillment center. Well, we pitched Amazon on a fulfillment center for that location. And unfortunately, the configuration of the Southwick site, it wasn't ideal for the fulfillment center. I mean, we're talking like a 800,000 square foot building, very tall structure, a lot of truck traffic, a lot of workers. There's 1,000 people that work there, and the Southwick site just wasn't ideal for that, and ultimately went to Rossford. Great. Then Amazon pitched a new concept, their delivery station, which is a smaller center. Which, when you order on your phone something from Amazon, they go in Rossford and they fulfill it. And they put it on a truck. They take it to Southwick. And then they put it on a small van and it gets delivered to your house. That's their model.
And it improves delivery. It
improves delivery time, yes. This is a part of their strategy to get it like same-day delivery at some point. And so anyway, when we had a plan, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We pitched them and said, hey, we proactively rezoned this site. The mall's been demolished. The environmental's been taken care of. We want logistics and distribution on that site. And one thing led to another, and they loved the site, quite honestly. They, being Amazon, bought the site themselves, which is different than their other models. For example, in Rossford, they lease that space from a landowner or a property owner. So Amazon actually owns Southwick, which is great.
So they made a true investment.
True investment in Toledo, and there's plenty of room there to expand. Now it's a 150,000 square foot building. It employs 450 people, and it was a $25 million investment. And if you drive down Reynolds Road today, you can start to see signs of that Ripple investment starting to happen. That's exactly what we're trying to do when we do these sites. And so to get back to your original question, we did the same thing for Northtown Mall. We started to say, we're running out of properties. Right. This is 60 acres. We could build the city's next industrial park. Right. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. We're here at the Appliance Center at their location on Monroe Street. I'm talking to my friend Marianne. Marianne, you've got a special going on this great bedroom set. What can you tell me about it?
Right, so this is a bedroom set by a leading manufacturer. And it is in a honey color, which is a color that had been gone for a long time, but is coming back. And it kind of has a nice country, subtle look to it. We do have it in stock.
And this is a three-piece set, correct? What
it is.
Comes
it
with
includes the queen-size bed.
Okay.
It includes the nightstand, and it includes the dresser. And they're priced at $934.
That's
so
a great
under $1,000, right?
If somebody wanted to order another nightstand or another dresser, is that possible?
Absolutely. Yep.
And this is in stock.
It is in stock, yeah.
And so somebody's going to buy this bed. They may need a mattress. Can you help them out with that too?
Absolutely. So we have a variety of mattresses. We have Tempur-Pedics, Simmons Beauty Rest. We have Sealy mattresses in all varieties of textures. We have firm, plush, medium, and a variety of prices. And we are able to work very closely with our pricing, so we'll always make a good deal.
And on the off chance somebody doesn't care for this particular set, as I look around the showroom, you have a huge selection of things available for people to check out, correct?
We do. We have a large furniture selection plus a bedroom set selection. And everything that has a balloon on it means that we have it in stock. And even if we don't have a balloon, if you find something you like on the floor, we will sell off the floor.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Eddie. Please come out and see our friends at the Appliance Center. They've got a fantastic special going on, this three-piece Better Suite set, and they'll even find you a mattress too. Have a great one.